How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Story of the Fight listeners? What's up, Will?
What up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. We'll see how many people join in on this one. Everyone's probably with their
Special
moms.
Mother's Day edition, huh?
Definitely.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to Story of the Fight. My name is Ramon. It's my boy Will, where we come together and talk all things combat sports, especially on Mother's Day. Today, we're going to be covering UFC 315. But before we do, want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way. We're trying to reach, I think right now, let's say 16,000 subscribers. I know it says 20,000 on the ticker. Let's just get to 16. So help us out. Tell all your friends, your family that love listening or talking about combat sports. Tell them to join, or
Yeah.
they can also listen other ways.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch on YouTube, let's see. We got storyofthefight.com will list all of our socials: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitch. But yeah, we're on Twitch, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, or YouTube Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. But we definitely recommend YouTube. You can join in on the live streams like your boy Austin out here, and he can see our beautiful faces. He can see the fight pictures that we're going to play, maybe a couple clips that we play, who knows. But yeah, we're going to get into Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della, Shevchenko.
Yes.
Bunch of
All
fights.
those fun fights. And hey, shout out HOB Comer, huh? Happy
Hey.
Yo Mama Day, he said.
Hey, we should change the name to that. That should be the official name.
Do you remember that show, Yo Mama?
Yeah,
Where they
I
just
do
go back
remember
and forth with a classic, dude, classic. That's what that reminded me of. Thank you, HOB Comer, for bringing back some fond memories.
Yeah.
Wilmer Valderrama.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know who's probably gonna have less memories after last night? Let's go into it, man. We had Jack Della, Maddalena versus Belal Muhammad. Man, Jack Della, huh?
Oh my God. Hey, first off, let's be real. Let's give credit where credit's due.
Okay,
Everybody likes
well,
to talk about how boring Bilal Muhammad is.
he
This was a
is.
fucking banger. This was a banger. It takes two to tango. You know what I mean? It does. So I have to give credit to Bilal Muhammad. I didn't expect this type of fight from him, if I'm being honest. But everything that Jack Della brought, Bilal was there for it, and I got to give respect to that. It was a sick fight. This was a sick fight.
He probably got tired of commissioners not knowing who he is, of fans asking to take pictures with this belt instead of him. Like, dude, he's like, I'm over it. I got to start bringing some excitement to my name. It was a good fight, man. Look, uh, I did put down my notes very first thing. It looks like Bilal's willing to trade this fight after the
Oh
very first
yeah.
round, right? Like right off the bat, uh, really good. Jack Della working the jab really well. Crisp boxing, man, to start off.
Oh yeah. And that's what you expect, right? You expect that from Jack Della. Shout out Ghost. Thank you for joining. Happy Mother's Day. And yeah, you expect that from Jack Della. You expect him to have good boxing, nice combinations, things like that. Everybody expects Bilal Muhammad to take people down, especially a striker. That's one of the things you also have to give credit to Bilal for is he's an expert game planner, and he'll fight a very good fight specifically for who he's fighting, right? Um, HLB Comer says, I knew Bilal was fucked when he came out dancing.
Oh, the belly
Oh,
dancing.
man. I didn't see it. I didn't watch the walkouts. I'll be
Dude, they're
honest. I was
putting like the Vaseline on his face and he's doing like this little like belly dance while he's like sitting there. I'm like, what is going on right now? Look, I don't mind
yeah.
watching Israel Adesanya come out and doing the choreography dance, you know what I mean? Because it looks sick. When you're just standing there and somebody's putting Vaseline on your face and you're doing like this little belly movement, I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't know. That's very good.
Hey
So
man, if
I'm,
that's
I'm
all
with
you got,
HLB
that's all you
Comer. I was
got.
like, oh, he's doing the dice roll thing too many times. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
classic.
Just so
I think that's
good.
all he's got.
But yeah, Austin saying Bilal's a solid guy, so overhated. This was a classic fight. But everybody who thought that JDM didn't have a chance probably feeling really dumb right now. And I believe it was Laura Sanko that said this game will make fools of us all, right?
Yeah, and it's a great quote because it really, I mean, I was talking to Ghost before, and it's like, you know, JDM has the tools to beat a guy like Bilal, but you just don't know what Bilal's bringing to the table for every single fight. You know how complete his game is, but you really don't know which Belal is going to show up and what his efforts are going to be. Ghost says, I saw someone say that Belal had the worst game plan, but I thought he looked very good here. But there are habits like him dipping to his right every time he sees a jab, which JDM exploited. Yeah, and look, also shout out real quick to Genevieve. Sorry, I'm late, boys. Had a Dutch baby in the oven. But look, thank you for joining.
What's up, baby?
I see a lot of people saying, why wasn't Belal shooting? Clearly, you want to shoot on someone like Jack Della, because we saw what Gilbert Burns did, right? Up until the finish, he was taking him down kind of at will. But look, I know a lot of people are making comparisons to the Leon Edwards rematch, the second fight with Belal, where he took him down and really just like he just grappled the shit out of him, right? And it was an aggressive takedown heavy performance. And everyone's like, why wouldn't he do that to Jack Della? And it's like, well, maybe because Jack Della is not Leon Edwards, you know? And one of the things that Belal did in the Leon Edwards rematch was just stay in his face constantly. And maybe the punches aren't the prettiest, but he's making someone like Edwards, who Leon wants space. So if you walk towards him, he's going to walk backwards because he wants space to set up his kicking game and things like that, right? So he basically walked himself back by just having Belal enter the space because he doesn't want to fight in a phone booth, Leon, unless you're clinching. He's very good at clinch fighting, but if he's trying to strike, he wants distance. He wants separation. So he's constantly giving octagon real estate to Belal, who then pressures him up against the fence and then can take him down. Jack Della doesn't give a fuck if you walk up to him. And we saw that immediately in that first round. If you walk up on Jack Della, he's going to rip you. So it's not necessarily why didn't Belal... Well, if you're asking the question, why didn't Belal fight Jack Della like he fought Leon Edwards in the rematch? It's because he fought Jack Della, and Jack Della is not Leon Edwards, and it's a very different type of fight than Belal was used to in the Leon fight. So I just want to get that out of the way and say, I don't think this was a bad game plan from Belal. I think he just struggled with what Jack Della brought to the table.
Yeah.
You know, does that seem fair?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing, by the way, Ghost kind of adding on to what you said, saying the position Belal shoots his head inside. JDM was constantly feinting strikes in that space.
Yes.
So making it harder, right, for Belal to want to shoot into. Yes.
You would see him slot the uppercut and you say, hey, this is waiting for you.
Yeah.
I know how you come in.
Just a little threat right there. You know what I mean? Just showing him real quick. Which we actually saw a TKO like that, which we'll discuss later on.
Yes.
In the podcast, right? But look, I give Belal props because he was the one that was also putting pressure. I felt like he was chasing after Maddalena quite a bit. Instead of cutting off the octagon, he probably could have done a little bit of a better job there. JDM did a really good job, I felt like, off his back foot too, in landing some counters off his back foot, especially probably like the third, fourth, fifth round. It seemed like Belal, the urgency, of course, started going up, right? Like, and so I feel like he was overreaching in some cases because he was really trying to land something at that point. He probably knew he was behind on the scorecards. And JDM really capitalized on him overreaching and was able to land some nice counters.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, Jack Della's slip game was very good. And he would do this thing where he would jab and then slip to his right. And I thought Belal clearly game planned for that because there was a couple times where he'd throw this switch kick to the body. And sometimes Jack Della would lean right into it. And you're like, well, that's very cool because he knows the head movement from Jack Della. But I thought, to your point, Jack's slip game and his pivot game in this fight, his ability to create angles and slip off of some of the, I don't want to say lazy shots because they weren't lazy, like maybe just reckless, like you said, over aggressive from Belal as he was trying to close that gap as the fight progressed. His ability to take what Belal was giving him, evade it, create an angle, and then rip him back was very cool.
Yes.
Ghost says one adjustment Belal did make was countering JDM's pull counter, which was a kick to his exit with the switch. Exactly, yeah. I promise you, Ghost, I didn't read that comment and then say it all late and pass it off as my own idea. It just came in right now. There's a delay on the live chat.
And then, so all those things being said, still a very exciting fight. So props to Belal, props to JDM for putting on such a fight. Man, Belal looked pretty beat up at the end. Did you see his split lip?
Yeah, we'll have a picture. We can show that.
Oh no.
Um, but I also want to say that the commentary did Belal a disservice, I think, with he was landing his right hand throughout the fight, especially early on, and they just weren't saying anything about it. The striking numbers on this fight were extremely close. I would think that I thought I'm not going to say this was the wrong decision or anything like that. I thought Jack Della very easily won this fight. Um, but I do want to give him credit where he was landing on Jack very well. And maybe it's just a case of Jack's game plan was defense heavy on takedowns. So he was just, hey, I'm going to eat some shots probably, the dip to right hand from Belal is very good because you think, oh, is he taking me down? Oh, no, it's the right straight. So that worked for him really well. Dude, the fifth round of this fight, I don't care who you had going into the fifth round. The reality is the judges had it 2-2. The judges had this fifth round, the deciding round. And, well, two of the judges did. The majority of the judges had the fifth round as the deciding round. With knowing that and the way this fifth round progresses, Belal, heavy pressure saying, hey, this is champion's final round. I need this, right? He's coming forward. Jack Della is just lighting him up as he comes in. He lands this knee, splits him open, and Belal has the tenacity to keep going. He gets the takedown, and you're like, oh shit, there's like 3 minutes left at this point. If he can land some damage and even just control, there's a very real possibility Belal wins this fifth round. And if he did win this fifth round, then he would have won the fight with hindsight, knowing the scorecards. So he gets the takedown, and he's smashing Jack Della, and you're like, oh shit. And where we saw him early in the fight, where Jack Della was kind of fine with accepting a position for a little bit, and this time, dude, with everything on the line, they're bloody. At this point, Jack Della got the better shots in, but it's not like he was unscathed. Like he also got lit up this fight.
Yeah.
And for him to hit like a knee lever sweep from half guard to create the space, get his knee in between the legs, and push with his knee/shin in the crotch of Belal to elevate him and get him up, turn it into a single leg of his own, and walk back up to the fence, and then win the rest of the round, wins him the fight. So for anybody who had questions of Jack Della's championship medal or anything like that going into the fifth round, he had to dig deep to hit that sweep against someone like Belal, who's a very good grappler. We've seen Belal out-grapple much better grapplers traditionally than you would consider Jack Della.
Yes.
And the fact that he hits that sweep in the fifth round to then continue to work on the feet and ultimately secure the win in the fifth round, that's champion level shit, dude. That's a true champion in Jack Della.
Yeah, awesome, man. Just a phenomenal performance from both men, but especially Jack Della. I know you were saying this. So the strikes, right? I saw a post earlier that showed significant strikes, 178 to 132 for Jack Della.
Very good. Yes.
Right. Would you feel like most of that was from one specific round, that difference, and all the other rounds were closer?
Well, let's see. I thought so. Two judges gave Belal the first round, which I think is kind of crazy. I think you could go 3-4, maybe. I don't remember what it was. I thought the fourth round was a Belal round. I just thought the fight was much closer than the commentary was leading on, and then like the live stats they showed during the fight throughout the whole card were all very inaccurate. Of course, the UFC stats website's not loading for me right now.
It's all good.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see round by round. What did you think? Did you think the fifth round was deciding it, or did you think Jack was like up comfortably at that point?
I felt like Jack was up comfortably at that point.
Yeah, I had it. You could argue 2-2 going into the fifth, or 3-1 for Jack. I thought Belal. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4, but I thought Belal clearly took one of those rounds. I forgot which one now. But then I don't know. Two judges gave him the first. I thought that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, shout out David. Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Yes. I think you tried to play with Canelo hands to gain more respect, which is dumb. I don't think he shot a single takedown in the first 2 rounds, and later it was too late. Well, yeah, when we talked about it, I think part of that maybe the pressure to be an exciting fighter, but I think part of it also is Jack Della's footwork.
Della's game plan, yeah.
He wasn't in the position that Belal likes people to be in to shoot takedowns. But yeah. So you alluded to the damage on Belal's face. So the next picture is
Yes.
a little bit graphic.
Ooh, warning to everybody that might be
Warning, graphic
wheezy.
warning.
Oh,
Yes, the knee split him open under the eye, but what I didn't realize is the lip, that upper lip, man.
completely split, huh?
Yeah, and Dana posted a picture. I'm not going to show it because I legitimately think the video will get taken down if we show the picture that Dana showed, because the doctor's opening that lip to show it better, and you're like, hey man, can you fucking let him chill, dude? What is up with this thing that they're doing lately where the UFC doctor is taking these super up close pictures with flash of these fighters' faces after a fight and then posting it on social media? It's like, dude, can we not do
Chill.
that? Can we let them get stitched up, please? And it's like not in the cage or anything. It's like off the side. You're like, is that the first thing to do? While they're
It's
trying
so
to like,
gross. Dude. Evie saying, that's not that bad.
HB Comer saying disgusting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I've seen worse from one last week. The bar has been raised. There's been some
All right.
doozies. But yeah, I think this was I thought this was an instant classic. I think this is a fantastic fight. It very well might be the UFC's fight of the year right now. At this point, we're almost halfway through the year. This might be the fight to beat for fight of the year.
Ooh, okay.
Umar versus Marab is also very good. That was this year, right? But this was fucking awesome. It's a great fight.
You have Sean Brady, ranked number 1. You have Shavkat Rakhmonov. Then you have Leon Edwards. Kamaru Usman's still up there, huh? Number 4. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, look, if we're talking about the landscape of what's next for welterweight, Islam is already saying he's moving up. That was the whole thing, right? The reason they haven't booked Islam is because they were waiting for this fight. And if Belal wins, Islam stays at lightweight. If Jack Della wins, he moves up for the title fight. You had Ian Gary, who was the backup for this fight, so he's clearly in contention from the UFC's point of view. Shavkat is the number 1 contender, but he's battling health issues. It sounds like they're going to do Islam versus Jack Della and do Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira at lightweight. But I've heard some things that maybe it's not as clear and cut. So apparently things are people are being difficult, and we'll see.
Nice. Which people? Can you say?
I will not say.
Okay. Well, we shall move on then before anything said that should not be said. All right.
I literally found out like 15 minutes before we went live, and I was like, oh. So I'll let you know later.
All right.
But we're not that.
Well, hey, we also had a co-main event. We had
and real
Valentina.
Quick, before we move on real quick, because Rich isn't here, so I got to do the slideshows. So I got to put this one up, and then I can put that, and now we can move on.
There we go. We had Valentina Shevchenko versus Manot Fiorot. Look, this is another one where going in, I thought, like, does Manot really have a chance? You know, like, Valentina's gone through and really cleaned out the division so far. I don't know. So this was a really interesting night for me because not only did we get to see Shevchenko go up against Manot Fiorot, but you also had Alexa Grasso going up against Natalia Silva, all in that same division. And so, like, this is all, like, an interesting thing for this division particularly.
Yeah, and like you said, does Manon have what it takes, blah, blah, blah. But then you see the Alexa Grasso performance, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe she does have a chance. If Alexa Grasso beat Shevchenko and then fought her to a draw, and that's what we're looking at, no disrespect to Alexa Grasso, but we all know what happened, 315 with her. I was like, well, maybe she does have a shot. And I thought,
more competitive fight than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I thought, there's a very real chance that this turns into just a point fighting match between these two girls, and that either Manon's going to be too light and on the outside for Shevchenko to land her big counters on because she's not going to be there, or Valentina is going to mix in her wrestling and it's going to be too much for Manon. And I was wrong about both things because I thought I did not expect, especially after the first round, Shevchenko is lighting her up with her lead hand.
Yes.
And Manon's just walking into it. Busts up her nose, and then for good measure, she takes her down and just kind of controls her on the ground. And you're like, well, it's going to be a long night for Manon.
Yes.
Second round, she makes some good adjustments. And She lands a takedown of her own, right? The right hand isn't landing for Shevchenko the same in the second round, and she gets a takedown. And you're like, oh, she made the adjustments. Maybe she is going to out-grapple Shevchenko. But no. They both pretty much, for the most part, stonewalled each other takedown-wise for the rest of the fight, largely. And a lot of it was fought in the clinch here or on the far outside. Like, well, most Shevchenko fights are fought on the far outside. But, yeah, this was, a lot of people shit-talked this fight. I was fine with this fight. I thought it was interesting. I thought there was some fun stuff in this fight.
Yeah, Will, something that you've mentioned about Shevchenko a lot of times is her spinning attacks. And she could be a little repetitive with some of her spinning attacks. And so after seeing Grasso capitalize on those in their first fight, I thought, okay, maybe everybody's figuring out the game plan. Those spinning attacks still seem pretty successful last night against Fiorot.
Well, she did a lot better and used what Manon was doing to throw it versus just like randomly
throwing it randomly. Yeah. yeah. But I have on her spinning back kicks, spinning heel kicks, spinning back fists, and all of which were pretty successful, right?
She landed the spinning back fist like twice too, as Manon was closing the distance.
Valentina finally drops Manon at the end of the fourth round. At that time, she had her in that weird position where like the top half of Manon was up against the fence, and so Valentina, jumps up on her and starts like landing some shots. I was like, man, 30 more seconds, she probably would have finished it then.
Could be.
Fifth round, Manon doing some more clinching, more dirty boxing, clinching Valentina up against the fence, which I thought was pretty good.
The knees to the body were good. Yeah.
But ultimately not enough to beat Miss Valentina Shevchenko. Look, shout out Rio, shout out new guy, shout out James. Everybody talking about what's next now for Shevchenko. Look, Zhang Weili versus Shevchenko would be a fun matchup, dude. Come on.
You got to do it. And like James says, as a member of the Team Ghost and Team Weili squad, not looking at upcoming contenders, are you guys excited to see the type of game plan Ghost comes up with for Zhang Weili? Dude, that's the cool thing about that matchup too. Not only is it just a great matchup, but I cannot wait to see what kind of a matchup or what kind of a game plan Ghost comes up with for Zhang Weili if they make that fight. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And keep talking for a second. A pretty large spider just crawled across the wall right here that I'm going to kill, and I'm going to mute my
mic. And shout out HOB Comer saying Fiorot was the favorite. Y'all must have forgot who Valentina is. Look, I'm one of those guys that had been on the Valentina Shevchenko train for quite some time. We take a look at her resume, right? Like, she's gone through Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Ai. We got Will killing a spider in the background, Liz Carmouche, Jennifer Maia, Jessica Andrade. Look, the list goes on and on. She finally gets that loss against Alexa Grasso, gets the draw, and then beats Alexa Grasso. So she's been doing this for a long time, clearing out that division for a while. But I feel like that fear that was there for the opponents going up against Shevchenko is just not there anymore.
Yeah, and then first off, real quick.
I back.
Did you win?
Trust me, I back.
Look, the fear is not there. The game has evolved around her. When you have
you guys saying Will should have spin heel kick that spider.
You imagine, dude? I just fucking I'm muted and you just see me spin and like all my camera falls and fucking take out all my whole desk.
Oh, sorry, that was good. Oh man, sorry for interrupting you. That was just too funny.
Yeah, I think. Look, there's a lot of footage for someone like Ghost to go through and create a very good game plan against someone like Shevchenko. When you have that much footage of somebody, that fear does go away because you get to see what works, what doesn't. And the longer we've seen Shevchenko go, the less we've seen of like the crazy finishes. I think like the Jessica Ai knockout is terrifying, right? But like, how long ago was that? And who was it
even
against?
then, right? Look, check this out. Jessica Ai head kick where she sent her to a different realm, right? Ketlin Sermonera, ground and pound from crucifix. Yeah, Jessica Andrade, elbows from crucifix. Lauren Murphy, ground and pound. And then after that, it's been decision split, loss to rear naked choke, decision split draw, decision unanimous.
Yes. Ghost coming in says, I will say this about this fight. Manon let Val play her A game, and that's not the right approach. She did, but I think the problem is I don't know how much of a B game Manon has, and unfortunately for her, her A game is something that Val is going to do well with. Someone like Zhang Wei Li, she's got a couple games. She's got a couple things she can do. She can fight differently depending on who she's fighting.
Look, I'm done
And
picking against Zhang Wei Li. Okay.
yeah, I mean, dude, if
I'm done.
if they make that fight, please let Zhang Wei Li be the underdog, please, which it could happen, and I will bet because that's one I'm pretty confident in.
All right.
Real quick too, the UFC stats finally loaded. There was so Belal 32-34, Belal 31-33, 21-28. So he was there. It's just rounds 2 and 5 from Jack Della, 27-53, 21-30. So he was there for a decent amount of it. It's just there was a couple of rounds that really lopsided it a bit. But yeah.
All right,
we can move on.
Yeah. Did you have any more pictures for that last one?
No. Let me just we'll do this.
Her little dance. There we go. We had Ayman Zahabi versus Jose Aldo. Look, the king of Rio. I texted you and George last night, right? I was like, man, I still get excited every time I hear his walkout music, see him walking out, dude. Like, there's just something still nostalgic about seeing Jose Aldo walk out, right? But man, Ayman Zahabi, dude, what a dog, huh?
Look, man, I want people, and I think they will after this one. Look, and also, it kind of bums me out that the narrative around this is like, oh, Aldo got robbed, and we'll get into that. But look, Ayman Zahabi, this dude has been putting together a career lately. Like, he loses to, he gets that spinning back elbow in his second UFC fight that knocked him out. And it was like, oh, shit, that was a doozy. Then he loses again.
That was a doozy.
It was bad, right?
It was.
And then Vince Morales beats him. Since then, he hasn't lost. That was in 2019. He hasn't lost since 2019. And look, there's been some inactivity, things like that. But we got a knockout over Draco Rodriguez, a win over Ricky Tercios, a knockout against Arichi Lang. And then he beats Basharat in a fight that everyone was like, Basharat's the next big thing. Zahabi's a stepping stone for him, and then he comes out and outdogs him. Then he beats Pedro Munez in a fun fight, and now he gets Aldo. And look, am I a fan of this matchmaking going into the fight? Not really. If this is, Aldo retired, he came back, and the fights that he's getting are kind of lame, in my opinion, as far as like matchmaking goes. Like, I don't know why they're giving him some of these fights. We should be doing like almost like a Legends tour with him.
Yeah.
If anything. That being said, this fight was fucking awesome, dude. This was a sick fight, dude.
So good. Aldo still looking super fast in that first round.
Dude, his fast twitch muscle, dude. Like, when he goes,
it's insane. And then
yeah, and
there's a couple times where Zahabi throws like a lazy leg kick, and Aldo just came in with that thudding leg kick, and I was like, there it is, man. That's the leg kick that for years we've been asking, where has it gone? Where is it? And you saw it a few times last night.
And then the rest of the fight, you were asking that same question.
Yes. Yes, dude. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
But, dude, when his leg kicks land, it just looks different. It sounds different.
It is. And look, that's part of the narrative of this fight is that, the reason he said he kicks less is because his hips aren't the same anymore. He can't throw the kicks like he used to because of his hips. And you're like, okay, well, that is heartbreaking to hear, but
yeah,
it's part of where he's at in his career, right? He's 36, but he's not a regular 36.
A lot of miles, dude.
Yes, not a regular 36. 36 can be different, but look, I just want to say, Zahabi has, and I mean this with zero disrespect. If you just watching him move and watching him fight, he is not the same caliber athlete as some of these guys, right? But, and I'm not saying he's like a schlub or anything like that, but it's obvious that he's not, athletically gifted the same way that some of these guys are, like Adesanya or something, right? John Jones.
Like an Aldo in the first round.
Yeah. But I'm so impressed with his ability to just fight a type of fight that negates that. It doesn't matter if you're a bigger athlete or a better athlete or something like that against someone like Zahabi, because the way he puts it on guys, he makes it kind of grimy. He makes it he knows about positioning very well. You could tell, just like his brother, he's got a great mind for fighting, and he's used that to kind of bridge the gap that physically he might be giving up. And watching him work, it's very fun to me. I'm a big fan of his style. He doesn't maybe have like one punch knockout power and he has a couple knockouts, but you're not seeing like a wheel kick knockout from Ayman Zahabi. It's not going to happen. But he will outwork people and smother them, and sometimes he'll pivot and then, or he'll escape, or somebody else will escape, and he'll like run at them for like a couple steps to get right back in their face. And it's like, dude, this guy's a dog. And speaking of dog, that third round, dude, holy shit.
By the way,
Aldo,
before we go there, Ghost,
yeah,
counting out all those counter body shots, dude. There's this one where Zahabi throws this left, Aldo slips, and as he's coming back up, he throws the left hook to the body, right hook to the body, so hard, so fast. And I was like, dude, that is beautiful, man. The way that he works the body. If his cardio could just stay the same from first round to round 3, like this dude would still be unstoppable, man. I freaking love Aldo.
Same, dude. I'm such an Aldo fan. But one thing I also want to give credit to Zahabi for, and it might have gotten him in trouble in this moment, was anytime Aldo would go, Zahabi would respond with something. Like if Aldo went first, Zahabi would be back on him just to like throw something, just to be like, hey, I'm not going to let that be the last impression of that exchange. I'm going to throw some hands out. And it got him in trouble because I'm sure Aldo knows this about him. And Aldo hits him with the right hand and stuns him. And Zahabi's like, ooh, let's get that back. And he steps in, and Aldo just meets him with a knee, and it knocks him back. And you're like, oh shit, there's a big
the worst is going to come.
Yeah, exactly. This is the worst part of the fight so far, but it's just getting started because he stumbles back off this knee. He ends up on the ground, and Aldo just sprints across the cage and kicks him in the face as he's getting
perfect timing on the kick, dude.
Beautiful. I texted you immediately, Pride Never Die, because just not that long ago this was illegal. It's legal now, but god damn, it's cool. And clearly is fine. This wasn't it was devastating, but it's not like it injured him so severely that clearly these need to be illegal. It's fine. We're fighting. It's crazy and it's very cool.
It's fine.
But look, he's fine.
Dude, and the way he flew back too.
Look at this
because as he's standing up, he's getting soccer kicked. And so, like, his momentum from him trying to stand up quickly and getting kicked.
I got it. Dude, he gets up, stumbles all the way across the cage the other way, and falls over once he gets to the fence. Aldo sprints at him again and kicks him in the face as he's getting up.
Yeah, and it was all or nothing at this point for Aldo.
But
right,
he ended up with nothing because the gas tank at that point was completely shot. Somehow Zahabi survived both of those exchanges. The knee that drops him, the soccer kick that sends him flying, and then the second soccer kick, might have been a knee, it's hard to tell from the angle. Then he gets up, and when he stands up after that moment, he circles out, Aldo comes at him again, and he hits him with a 1-2, and you're like, dude, Zahabi's a dog. His initial reaction is to just throw back.
Yeah.
What a fucking dog. And then
he caught him too with that 1-2.
He did.
Where it made Aldo think like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yes. And then they clinch. He lands a couple knees to the liver of Aldo that are nice knees. They separate, and Aldo takes this huge look at the clock where I thought I was like, is he like showboating right now? He's done.
Yeah.
And Zahabi at this point is pressing Aldo, and you're like, how is this man walking forward after eating those fucking shots?
Dude. Terminator.
Yeah. And Aldo shoots a desperate shot. And Zahabi says, good fucking luck, dude, and just shucks him off. And Aldo falls back, and I'm like, oh no, dude.
You know who else was like, oh no? Aldo, as soon as he looked up at the clock, he's like, oh no, 3 minutes left. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I mean, this shot right here, 3 minutes left, not good. Not good, dude. But yeah, at that point, I think they end up on the ground. Looks like the takedown was 2:30. They basically settle into the guard at like 2 minutes left, and for 2 minutes, Zahabi is just beating the brakes off of Aldo, and it's tough to watch. Because while I
Very
like
tough.
Zahabi, I don't like seeing Aldo like that.
Dude, and those shots too, right? Like the camera angle was perfect. The elbows were slicing. There was two of those elbows that landed that as soon as they landed, you saw the blood start coming out.
Yeah.
Well, Evie was probably out there celebrating. I was like, oh no, not the king
Not
of
my
Rio.
king.
Not like this, dude. Oh, hey, Rio,
Ah.
dude. Come on, let's go. Get
Yes.
out. I don't want to watch this
He's-
anymore, dude. I don't want to see any of these pictures.
He survives. Both guys embrace. They both get up on the shoulders. Andre Pederneiras has Aldo on his shoulders. Fiorot has Eamon on his shoulders, and they're both walking around the cage with their hands up. And dude, this was an all-time classic round. I mean, 2 soccer kicks, a knee knockdown to 2 soccer kicks, to a gas out, to just a mauling on the ground from the other guy. I mean, just to call the ambulance, but not for me type moment, right? And then we're like, how do they score that? Because the first round was clearly Aldo. Third round, was on route to be a 10-8 for Aldo, and then without the first half would have been a 10-8 for Zahabi, but it turns into a 10-9 for Zahabi basically, which is crazy. It's just crazy that is the same scoring as the first round. Second round, I don't know, and they give it to Zahabi, and Aldo retires. And look, a lot of people are saying Aldo got robbed in this one. I rewatched it this morning. Live, I thought Aldo probably took this fight. I rewatched it this morning. I think they got it right. I think Zahabi won this one. If you could give 10 rounds.
I had the third round being the deciding round for the fight, right? Like they went in 1-1 going into the third. And it's so funny because you even heard DC and Dom like going back and forth.
Yes.
As Zahabi was on top landing the elbows. And then Dom was like, this got to be a 10-8 round for Zahabi, right? And then DC was like, dude, he got dropped in the beginning of the round. Like in this exact same round, he got dropped.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Like it was just 2 totally different rounds in one round. It was
crazy, dude.
It was crazy, man. Yeah.
What a fucking round, dude.
Sad to see Aldo go out like this, right? Like he had already retired once. And I know he got his flowers and everything then. But he comes back. To your point, would have loved to see, but look, would have loved to see him go out on a tour, Legends tour. Mm-hmm. But knowing Aldo and how competitive he is, he probably said, "I want one more run at the title."
Yeah, for sure.
Don't give me these legend, gimmies. Like I want to go up and fight for the title. So,
yeah. Timothy says, "What do you guys think of the new video of Pereira drinking alcohol?" Never seen it. First I've heard of it.
Does he not drink outside of that?
Well, wasn't he like alcoholic or something? Maybe he's sober. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
HB Comer says this is not TMZ Timothy. Yeah.
Although we do call Will TMZ Will.
Yes.
No, but I mean, I don't know.
He says, unfortunately, I didn't watch the main card, so no celebrating. Oh my God, Genevieve, you missed some good ones. Yes. But look, I don't think this was a robbery. I think again, speaking to the live stats, I think it's another one that they show at the end of the third or the end of the second round. They show like Aldo outstruck Zahabi 28-21 or something, and you're like, oh, okay. And most people automatically think he must have won that round. Then there was no grappling. He outstruck him. Cool. Move on. Those weren't the stats. If you look at the official stats now, because they do them later on, Zahabi outstruck Aldo in that second round. So, I cannot speak to it enough. Disregard, if they ever show the striking numbers during the fight, pretend they didn't show them. They're largely inaccurate. And Austin says, man, Anthony Smith gets a whole ass video package and Aldo gets his face smashed in a goodbye. Yeah. Look, they did a good job the first time.
In all fairness, yes, they did a good job the first time. Anthony Smith told everybody this is going to be my last fight leading up to. I'm sure they're going to have a video montage for Dustin Poirier too, since he gave him a heads up and said, hey, this is going to be my last fight. Mm-hmm. I think UFC was just as surprised as we were that Aldo retired last night.
Look,
because if he would have won, he would have kept on fighting.
True. But one thing you can say is when there's guys like this who have retired already and come back, or they're 37, all this stuff, they got a lot of mileage, maybe just have those ready to go for those types of guys and add to those. It's not hard to add clips from new fights to a reel like that.
The
just
truck,
have
the
them.
producer's truck in the background, like guys, he's taking his gloves off. Cue the video. Cue the
Roll
video.
the clip. Yeah.
They just gotta be ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Asia B. Comer says, I bet we will see Aldo in some boxing match in the future. Yes. The reason he came back
for
in
sure.
the first
You're
place
right,
was
Asia B. Comer.
because the UFC would not let him box. So now he probably
Ooh.
fought out the contract and
Maybe.
will probably box.
Hopefully.
3-minute
Hopefully
rounds
he
for
did.
Aldo? Come on.
Oh yeah, dude. Fresh Aldo.
Let's go.
Dangerous. All right.
Yeah.
Man, we
Well,
have got to kind of blow through the rest of these, huh?
Yes. Do we want to skip any or do we want to just...
Tell you what, let's talk about Grasso versus Silva.
Yes.
Right? We talked about, by the way, both of them adorable going in.
How dare you?
How dare you? No,
That's
look, but
fucking
like,
illegal.
hey, Dana, it's not legal for me to say that.
Fucking prison.
By the way, everybody, Will got a new mic. It comes with the soundboard, so he is extremely happy
man.
right now.
You're a fucking punk, dude.
So funny. But to your point, leading up, right? Grasso had defeated Shevchenko. Grasso was still ranked number 1. We've seen, Silva have some decent performances leading up to, but I still thought, okay, Grasso just beat the champion not that long ago. Took her to a draw the second fight. Like, this should be an easy fight for Grasso, right?
Really?
That's what I thought.
Wow. I thought Natalia Silva, this is her time. She's about to get a title shot potentially because I think she's very difficult to deal with. Look at some of these shots, dude.
Yeah, obviously I was wrong, right? Great footwork,
But
insane energy the entire way through, man.
well, because
She
like
was
Ghost said
expecting
about
to throw a
Go ahead.
counter. Every time Grasso
Yes.
threw something, she was expecting to throw a counter. She was ready, so she capitalized on that. Ghost saying hot take, this fight was bad.
that's why
Ooh.
I was about to say, should we skip this or should we? Because I was like, this fight
Well,
does
real
kind of
quick.
suck.
Real
Yeah.
quick, we just alluded to it earlier, so I just want to make sure we didn't skip it after we said, like, hey, by the
True.
way, it all came together, you know?
Yeah.
All right. But that was it. So props to Silva. She's probably moving up into the number 1 ranking. Maybe next for Val if they don't put Zhang Weili in there against her, right?
That's the move, right? If you do, which can I just say, Val versus Silva, horrible fight. That fight is gonna suck. It's gonna be 2 people circling, trying to land counters when nobody wants to engage. Look, does she deserve a title shot? You could argue yes, and I wouldn't argue against that. But yeah, I mean, that's stylistically, it's a bad fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Hey, shout out Bruce Blaze Lee. Thank you for joining us as well. But real quick, Denis versus Prepolec. What do you have to say about that one?
Yeah, Prepolec, they got him on like 5 days notice or something like that. Makes his UFC debut against Benoit Saint-Denis. Saint-Denis
landing right over and over again that first round, by the way.
Very easy to land on Benoit, apparently, as we've seen. But the dude is just a tank, and he'll just try to no-sell these shots. He really needs to get his head off the center line when he's engaging, but he's trying to land his hooks. So he's like, I don't want to, because I want to stand right here and swang and bang. But yeah, he's grappling with Prepolec, which I thought was a good move in the first round. Like, hey, tire this guy out at least for a bit. You know, this guy's trying to come out strong, probably make his UFC debut, try to knock me out. Let me just kind of slow things down for a bit. Second round, very different. Benoit lights him up, gets him on the fence, and just does beautiful work with the elbows, with the single collar tie. He'll switch to the double, and then he'll knee to the body, go back to single collar tie, hit some more elbows. Prepolec did a good job of firing back an elbow, that they elbowed each other at the same time, Step Brothers style. I mean, look at that shot.
That's such a good shot.
Very cool.
But that's cheating because Saint-Denis has that little dagger in his elbow, dude.
Yeah.
At the exact same time. But this is the weird sequence after this, right? Like Benoit clinches, drags him down, and the way that Prepolec kind of like falls, like Benoit just rolls over him at the same time, and like Prepolec's like rolls back with like his right arm up already. And Saint-Denis just kind of like, okay, just sinks in that arm triangle, done.
And then he's on half guard with the arm triangle, and Prepolec pushes the leg off of himself to put him into the position to get the choke.
The right side for Saint-Denis.
Yeah. and we've seen this before. This happens pretty frequently. I would not be surprised if that was like, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm over this, because he was getting mauled at that point, and I mean that with no disrespect. It is what it is.
Yeah, I did find that kind of weird though, because he was like, "No, dude, this isn't the right position for you. Like, you gotta move." You know, like sometimes, like we'd be sparring right in jiu-jitsu, and Professor Adrian would be like, "No, like you want to get like in this position. You want to get in this angle."
You almost
to
got
like
this,
teach
but...
you the yeah. But like this is what you want. That's kind of like what Prepolec did. He's like, "Dude, you're really close to sinking this in. You want to move over to the side. There you go. Now I'm tapping." But props to Benoit Saint-Denis. Yes, it was a last minute add-on, but he did what he was supposed to do, right?
He did what he was supposed to do. ACB Comer says, how overrated is Benoit really? I think because of the violence he brought early, I think people got on board, and it was easy to get on board. I think people are starting to kind of rate him correctly now. So yeah, maybe he's still a little bit overrated, but I don't think nearly as much as he was like at the top of that streak that he put together. I think people are starting to realize like, hey, this guy's a little bit of a sketchy operator.
Yeah. Hey, look at that ref, by the way. That's gonna be your boy here in the next couple of years. Dude, I'm getting along more white and white. Look at, dude. Look at that's gonna
Look
be
at that
me.
tribal sleeve.
Oh, dude, I gotta work on that tribal sleeve next. All right. We also had Mike Malott versus Charles Radtke.
Yes. And we'll probably start to just kind of move through these ones quickly. We're at 45 minutes, and it is Mother's Day. This fight was fucking sick, though. I'm not a huge fan of Radtke, but I do like his style. The dude cracks. He's got a nasty left hook. This was another one where I don't know if he's ever trained with Dominic Cruz or anything like that, but the whole first round, I'm like, Dominic Cruz is like, and this is what Radtke will do. This is what he'll do. As he's getting just pieced up by Mike. And I'm like, hey, man, like, Mike's piecing this dude up and exiting off angles. And Radtke's just walking. He's like, look at him no-sell these shots. And you're like, yeah, but these are going to add up, man. These are some big shots.
For sure, dude. Malott, former striking coach for Team Alpha Male, did a really good job of picking and choosing his entries. I thought his timing was awesome right off the bat.
His exits were the most impressive for me, because he hit a couple combos and then bam, he's gone. And you're like, that's good.
Yeah. Big left hook drops Radtke in the second round, and then after that, Malott just kind of finishes it with some ground and pound, huh?
Dude, that ground and pound was brutal, though. It was brutal. It was like that one. Who knocked out Brendan Schaub where he was like reaching for like. That's what was happening.
Silva?
I don't remember who it was.
I don't remember either. We're gonna have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
Not a hard one to rewatch.
Brendan Schaub knockout, dude. That's a few of them on there. You know what I mean? I'm not sure exactly which one you're referring to. It's quite a bit. All right, we will move on, man. We also had Jasudavicius versus Jessica Andrade.
Yes. Pretty good showing for Canada, huh? On this whole card. The lead up to this was Andrade the whole time talking about good fucking luck taking me down. I'm a fucking tank. And Jasudavicius is like, dude. Jasudavicius is fucking sick also. She has some fun fights. And she's piecing up Andrade on the feet. Hits the single, drives her across, takes her back, lifts her up, dumps her, chokes her out. And it was pretty quick. And at this point, I think Andrade... I mean, do we need to keep doing it? I don't know. She clearly, I mean, she showed up that
she's probably got one or two more fights in her just for people to be able to continue breaking into the top 10.
Man, she's 26-14 now.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Dude, she was a killer at one point. Remember that? She was picking people up and just dropping them on their heads.
And look at the times have changed.
How the turns have tabled. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now she's being picked up and tossed down. All right.
Yeah, just like Austin says, straight up steamrolled. Love how almost every time we see Jasmine, she's evolved. Her versus Robertson would be a banger. Oh my god.
Ooh,
Canada on Canada violence.
Dang, dude, they're all so nice. Have we ever seen that before? All right, we're skipping Kutalaba versus Bukauskas. I know somebody had alluded to the judging. Not too sure how we have one judge that gives 30-27 to Kutalaba and another one that gives 30-27 to Bukauskas. Either way, wasn't the most exciting fight, which is why we're skipping it. But yes,
Yes.
that judge needs to be investigated. See what the hell happened there. He probably had a couple wagers. Real quick, we're covering real fast. Sterling versus Erslan. What'd you think of this
Yes.
one?
Early range finding for Erslan. He started landing that right hand, and Navajo was just kind of eating it. And then once you mix the grappling in, I think that completely changed the whole dynamic of the fight. And then the third round, he hits him with this nuclear right hand, and he gets up and he's trying to hype the crowd up and go to war. And meanwhile, Sterling's just tagging him while he's like, "Fucking let's go." Hilarious. He drops him again, beats him up on the ground, gets the win.
Yes.
But,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
the third round was fun.
We can't show every comment on there, but some of them are pretty funny.
Yes.
Austin, straight to jail for that judge. I'm so serious. I agree. I think we've seen some pretty shady judging, and that one was pretty ridiculous. So, yes. Who else do we have? Barriault versus
Next was
Silva.
oh god,
This
Marc-Andre
one was
Barriault versus Bruno Silva. And look,
nasty.
the UFC. Let's just do it because the UFC put it on their Instagram. Or actually, no, this one they put a bad angle. You can't even see the elbows, so we're not going to do it. Just kidding.
JK.
But we'll show you some pictures.
Yes.
Marc-Andre Barriault, is he down at Kill Cliff? He is, right?
Yes.
I saw Anglan Song in his corner, which was cool.
Yes.
He struggled a bit as of late. He gets dropped with the left hand off a kick, and then he gets right back up, wrestles his way up, and gets him up against the fence. Has the underhook on the left side there. If you are Bruno Silva, what you want to do is grab that right hand or the wrist of Marc-Andre Barriault and pull it down. He's got the overhook cinched, right? He's pulling him up with that overhook so he can't shoot on him. But you also need to address that the far side hand with wrist control. And instead, Marc-Andre pushes across his face, lands a nasty elbow, and you're like, ooh, that's a bad one. And then he goes down and he controls the wrist. He says, I'm not going to let you control this hand because then I can't elbow you again. So he controls it. He has the top hand and he elbows him again.
That one was
And this
bad.
time, he puts a dent in the side of his fucking head. Did you see that?
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to
you
see
could
here.
see it from this. No, you could see it from this picture.
Holy moly. And then as he's falling, he hits him with another one for good measure. And he's
Another elbow.
out.
And then as he's out, he hits him with like another 3.
Yes. And it's never good when your arm is stuck like that. But yeah, this was a nasty one. Just a savage knockout.
And you got the judge trying to put him in a Kimura. That's messed up, dude. Or I mean the ref.
Yeah.
Dude, let him
Actually, I heard him yell,
relax
stop
for a little
resisting.
bit. Jeez.
Puts his knee on his neck.
Gnarly though. Haven't seen a dent in the head since I think it was Cyborg, right?
Oh, that was a bad one.
A dent in the head.
But it looks like everything was fine. Brendan Fitzgerald said on the broadcast after some scans and everything, it looked all good. And they're like, yeah.
It just inflated
fine.
again.
You're
That's
like,
weird. Okay.
Are you sure?
Dude, I thought after this next fight we're going to talk about, I thought this was going to be fight of the night.
Yes.
But it was Lee versus Santos.
Such a fun fight, dude.
Right off
Oh
the
my
bat,
God.
man. Trading back and forth. It was a little wild, a little sloppy in the beginning for both men because both of them, not one of them wanted to get landed on and not respond right away with a couple of shots of their own, which made it super
Yes.
fun.
Dude, and both of them mixing in body shots into their combinations. They were throwing like 4-punch combinations, and then like the third punch would be a body shot to set up the overhand right. Both of them. It was so cool. And, you know, Jung Young Lee, he had that fight against Haider Emil. That was a fucking banger also. And Daniel Santos, I haven't seen him in a while, right? When was the last time he fought?
I don't know, but I saw Ian
2023?
Gary cornering him, huh?
Yeah, it's been 2 years since he fought. He fought in June of 23.
Jeez.
And
Been
then
a
he's had
minute.
3 canceled fights since then, and he fills in on short notice on this one, up a weight class. And goddamn, and Genevieve says, "I love a sloppy banger. This one was fun." This is the definition
Yes.
of a sloppy banger. There was some nice technique in there, but just it's a scrappy fight, man. And then once Santos mixed in the wrestling, you could tell like that was the wrinkle that was going to give him the edge. You know?
Yes, 100%, man. Both men did a great job going to the body. Santos though with longer combos, and your boy here loves punches and bunches, man. So this was a lot of fun. But that takedown in the second, takedown in the third, Santos was smothering Lee. That's what ended up. I think it was what, second and third round for Santos. So
Well, all three judges gave this fight a 30-27, and I think the argument can be made for a first round going to Lee. It just happened to be. I thought it was Lee. I rewatched it this morning. I thought just because it was fun, not to be like, was he robbed? It was just like I want to watch it again. But
Austin saying this is the only fight he missed. You have to go back and watch this one. This was the second most fun fight.
Oh yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Santos got to stop messing with his cup when he's in range. Shout out Blunderbub. But yeah, very fun fight. It was a sick one. I like both these guys a lot. Hopefully we get to see more activity from Santos. Also, hope to see him in the weight class that he should be at.
He looked good though in featherweight.
I mean, he looked very good, but I think he can look better.
Ooh, look better than that? That's awesome. All right, and then the last fight we're going to cover, Almakhan versus Katona.
Almakhan, dude. And I like Brad Katona too. Unfortunately, it was not his night. And this one we can show. It was quick. It was early on. And let's go ahead.
So wait, real quick. We talked earlier about the feints that Della Maddalena was throwing, right? Shout out Ghost for pointing that out too, which made it hard for Belal to shoot on the side that he likes to shoot on, because there's that threat of that uppercut, right?
Yes.
And this is what we said, hey, we're going to talk about it later on in the podcast, something similar, where Brad Katona, I want to say he either feinted or he did throw, but then he tried to follow it up with a takedown and got caught with an uppercut as he's going down for the takedown. So, boom.
Oh,
out.
Man.
Can you show in slow motion?
Very cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
What was that?
I was like, can you show in slow motion now? Just kidding.
Oh.
No, but yes, beautiful timing from Almakhan. You could tell that they were expecting this. They probably saw film on Brad Katona and knew that this is the way he liked to enter it as well. Took him out.
Well, you could see he threw that uppercut right before that, and it landed. And you're like, oh, because Katona, he also has like a dipping jab that he throws. And you're like, okay, his entry off the jab kind of looks like his takedowns. The uppercut's a good move to slip under that. And yeah, he got him.
Got him. Ooh, okay, here's a great question from Ghost. You ready for this one? Does Katona have a fake accent? Okay, look, he talked about he's Canadian, right?
Well, yeah,
but then he moved
has an interesting upbringing.
Ireland, and spent quite a bit of time in Ireland, and so apparently he picked up the accent there.
Yes.
And now he's like a mix.
It's like a Canadian Irish kind of blend, which can happen. I don't think it's quite like a Mackenzie Dern thing, but
I was gonna say, Ghost, return question to you: does Mackenzie Dern have a fake accent? Look it up. Do your research. Let me know. But yes, good fight, Almakhan.
Good fight. Beksa is someone to watch out for, though. That guy is electric.
He is. All right. Who are you going to cover for moments of silence, Will?
Yes. Let me just switch this really quick.
Do we have it? Ooh,
Bam.
we do.
Moment of silence. Haley Cowan versus Nora Cornoye. That got rescheduled. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales was supposed to be on here. They rescheduled that. That's a main event now. Benoit Saint-Denis was supposed to fight Joel Alvarez. Alvarez at lightweight. Could have been a fun fight. Gavin Tucker was originally supposed to fight Jung Young Lee, which also would have been fun, but Daniel Santos came in. We still got a good fight. And that's it. And then bonuses. Marc-Andre Barriault got one for his elbows. Jasmine Jasudavicius got one for her rear naked choke. And then fight of the night, I think well-deserved, Muhammad versus Jack Della. That was a sick fucking fight.
Awesome.
All in all, I liked this card. It was very good.
It was a good card. How about monies, Will? Who got the bonuses?
That's what I just did.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My bad. My bad, dude. Hey, it's been a long day, okay? Already.
It's been a long day.
Already. Woke up early for Mother's Day breakfast. No, sorry. Also, a little distracted by Ghost saying don't really want to research Mackenzie Dern. All good, dude. All good. All right. What do we have next week, though? Do we have anything exciting?
What is next week? Next week is the 20. Or no, next week's the 17th. Our boy Kai Wu is fighting at Fight Night at the Tech in San Jose, so I'll be going
Let's
to
go.
that. And
Oh,
then we
did you
have
ever do the press pass?
no press pass, but it seems like they have it on lockdown. They don't. They're not. They have like a inside crew that's doing everything. It doesn't
Oh,
seem like
really?
they're actually doing a yeah.
Dude, just text our boy Scott Coker.
I almost did, but then I didn't. And now it's probably too late. But I'll try to get my camera in at least and get some cool footage. We'll see what happens.
Dude, send me Scott Coker's number. I'll text him.
No, I
You know your
can't
boy
do
has
that.
no shame, dude.
Wait, you didn't take it down when he gave it to us? You were right there.
No, I didn't take it down. I was right there. I think I was just more surprised that he was talking to us like we're normal people. Or like he's
Yes.
a normal person, I should say. Super
like, "Do
down
you have
to
my
earth,
number?"
dude.
And
He's
I was
like,
like-
yeah, do you have my number? Like, who
Like,
just...
no, dude. The fuck?
So funny. Cool guy, though, huh?
Very cool guy. But yeah, we have, as alluded to earlier, we have Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. The co-main event is Paul Craig versus Bellato. Sadiq Youssef, the scumbag, against Myron Santos. Should be a fun fight, though. Ruziboev is back against Stolfus. Ooh, Juicy J Arosa versus Costa is a sick fight.
Always a fun fight with Juicy J, huh?
Yeah. Jared Gordon's back against Thiago Moises.
No, overall, I'm not sure how I feel about this entire card, but
Pretty bad on paper.
yeah. We've been
Pretty
surprised
bad on
before, huh?
paper.
Luana Pinedo. I just got an autographed card by her, I think, not that long ago. Pulled it out of a pack. It's
you
been a
go.
lot of fun ripping those, but not sure I was super excited about that auto. Okay, another great look. Ghost is coming through with some solid questions. He says the 16th is my ex-girlfriend's birthday. Would it be inappropriate to wish her happy birthday? Evie, what do you think? You gotta let us know here.
Look,
From a
it
woman's
all
perspective.
depends on the motive.
way it ended?
You know what I mean?
The way it
What's-
ended, I think too.
The way it ended and what's the motive. And if the motive is what I think it might be,
I do lay back.
Do you have too much fun with this soundboard, bro?
the soundboard's too fun, dude. You gotta get the mic, dude. You gotta get the
I
mic
gotta
so you
get
can
it.
have your own.
I gotta get it. Oh, new guy saying next week's card should be in Brazil. It isn't strong, but it's made worse because it's Apex when's
Yes.
the next one card?
Well, one has the Friday fights going. And the last Friday fight was actually very good. Their next one is early June, I believe. At least their early prime card. We cover their prime cards. We don't really cover the Friday fights on here. But I believe the next one card is Fight Night 32. It's June 6th. Friday, June 6th. Nakrov versus Jiao Yai. Oh my God, that's gonna
Hey,
be
some good
violence.
stuff coming through though, right? HOB Comer saying she's an ex for a reason. We got Evie saying
Ooh.
depends on how long you were together and why you broke up, and if you split on good terms. That's what I'm saying. I think that the split really
Yes.
has a lot to do with it.
What a real
Austin
answer there
saying,
from Genevieve.
oh, really good, dude. I've wished exes happy birthdays before. Motive 100% matters though. Look, dude, this is a great
Hey.
community, Will. This is a great
this is
community.
all-
That's what I'm saying.
This is all I care about.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Soundboard. Yeah,
So
let
good.
us know also if you think of good soundboard ideas, let us know because I'm trying to clip as many. I could have like 64 on this thing, so
Oh, dude, come on. bro.
load it up, dude.
All right. Well, hey, shout out to everybody that joined us live and that were chatting it up with us. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
A lot of fun talking about these fights. Fun fights, fun to talk about. Fun fights, talking about in the
Who
chat.
knows?
I mean, dude, come on. Next
Who would
level.
have thought?
So thank you to everybody. Just a reminder, we're trying to reach 20,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please let your friends that love combat sports know that we have a fun community here. Y'all make it a fun community. So thank you so much. And yes, Will, other ways to listen?
Yeah, Apple Podcast, YouTube Podcast, Spotify if you just want audio, but we highly suggest a video because that way you can also join in on the chat and be part of the show because, it's just makes it more fun and you can be part of it,
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Blunderbuss says, find the Bellator Cutman soundbite. These guys are ruining my fucking night. Oh, my God. Classic.
Oh, so many good. Like, toilet flushing is a must. I think that's a good one,
Toilet
right? So whenever we're going to have to talk about a fight that we probably don't want to talk about, play that sound, the sizzle for a hot
Sizzle
take.
sound for a hot
That's a good
take.
one,
Ooh.
too. Yes, I like it. That's hot mic moment.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, once again. Shout out to you, Will, for holding it down on the ones and twos in the background and also hosting the show. Shout out to our producer, Richard Bustos, who had to take the day off. My
Mother's
bad
Day.
to everybody. I had to take the last couple weekends off, a bunch of family things were coming up. So thank you for holding it down there as well, Will. Shout out to our boy, Nick Atkin, who filled in on one of the episodes as well. And thank you to everybody for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.